out the signals for the Baltimore Colts. Unitas gives to Amici. The Colts are the world champions. Amici scores.
It's amazing, sensational, dramatic, heart-rending, exciting, thrilling finish in the history of college football. California has won the big game.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
This is Phil Steele.
This is Mike Burnham.
This is Wes Durham.
This is Mike Ashley.
Hi, this is Chuck Foreman, number 44 of the Minnesota Vikings.
Woo, mercy, this is handsome Jimmy Vane, the Boogie Woogie Man.
This is Coach Fry with Virginia Tech football, and you are listening to Big Dog Sports Talk.
Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Okay, let's do it.
You're in the doghouse with Rick Watson on Big Dog Sports Talk, presented by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. Join us in the Family Fencing Studios and chime in on the McClellan Chiropractic chat line. He's keeping cool with help from Little River Heating and Air, but this show is straight fire. And now, the big dog, Rick Watson.
Rick Watson's got the mic, he's the big dog king. Cover sports so sharp, it's a new river thing. Virginia Tech fire, rapid pride too. Every stat, every play, he's bringing it to you. He's got that voice, deep as a valley, breaking it down, no dilly, no dally. Big dog sports talk, feel the bark. He's got the scoop, faster than a sprint. Calling plays like a coach, every word's a hint. From the courts to the fields, the stories unfold. Rick's play-by-play, worth its weight in gold. With a laugh and a growl, he'll pull you in. Big Dog's podcast, let the games begin. Big Dog Sports Talk, feel the bark, feel the bite.
And good morning. It is the mission of the program. Hope you're well, wherever you might be. I'm in the left corner, and there's Henry the Camel. We got a lot going on today. Keon Brown joins us coming up at 6:30. We've got Damian Sordelette, David Teal, and Bill Roth. So a lot of coverage for you here as we slide over the hump. And when you see Henry, you know that that means that it's hump day. Yesterday on the program, I believe Wayne asked why I did not have Selma as part of our celebratory backdrop, and there she is. It's my omission, so my apologies for that. My apologies for that. Hit us up in the McClellan Chiropractic chat room, also on the Professional Door text line. As we rumble through Wednesday, as tomorrow we get into more preseason games and college football. In professional football, and then college football's 2 weeks away from week 0. So we've got all that going on here that we'll get into. Thanks to Family Fencing, sponsor of our studios here in Reiner, 540-200-8294. Reach out to them, give them a call for a free quote today. McClellan Chiropractic, that's Mark Hunley, 155 Walters Drive, sponsor of our chat room. Mark does a terrific job, and we got to see some of the technology in behind what he does. It was really cool. And many of you, over 700 of you, watched that video, which is awesome. Lawson's Mobile Home Supply, 300 North Franklin Street in Christiansburg. Give James a call, 540-381-8011, manufactured parts for your home. Thanks to James for his continued support, as well as the NRB Super Bowl, 382-5525. Call now to ask about joining a league, men's, women's, mixed. If you have friends, you want to get a team together, why not? Kids leagues also. Sundown Electric, the Smith Brothers down in Elliston. Reach out to them, one of the best electrical wiring services in the entire Commonwealth. And they will always be very honest about the job they have to do and keep your costs down as much as possible. ReadySetFund.com, BobChrist11@gmail. ReadySetFund.com is a terrific program. If you have a group that needs some money to buy some things, uniforms, just the essentials, reach out to the Ready Set Fund, and hopefully they can help you. Professional Door Incorporated, residential commercial garage doors, family owned and operated. 40 years in business, 540-674-0008. Nobody does garage doors better than Professional Door. Nobody does banking better than National Bank. Member FDIC, exclusive banking partner of this show and of yours truly. Going on the better half of 35 years now that I have personally been with National Bank. Great people and great service, and they always want to make banking as easy for you as possible. The BDST Fan Question of the Week brought to you by the attorney Ryan Price, 701 West Main Street in Radford, Trust and Estate Planning. Who will finish last in the ACC? And we had quite a few votes yesterday. North Carolina has zoomed into the lead. How about that? North Carolina is now into the lead. Yeah. Little River Heating and Air, Charles Lee, 1095 Radford Street in Christiansburg, 540-553-2971. They continue to kick butt and take names. Thanks to them for their continued support. Get your air units and soon, unfortunately, your heat units checked out because it's going to get colder before you know it. Pulaski County Sports Entertainment, the presenting sponsor of this program, thanks to Jonathan Sweet and Tim Miller. And we'll try to get Jonathan on tomorrow to talk about his nephew who's now in Jets camp. Thanks to them for their continued support. Thanks to Louise Baker. Thanks to Brandon at Top Shelf Apparel. And I believe that is everyone. We have a new sponsor coming on in September. Need to get a few more. So if you know anybody, give me a yell. Thanks to everybody for stopping by. Thanks for all the great comments about our anniversary. And it was, again, it's all you. I write about it this week in the Patriot. Just what this first year has meant and the things we've gone through. Hey, good morning, Prometheus. And this morning I do have a soda instead of water. I was kind of feeling a little. So, water's great, but sometimes you need a little oomph. You need a little bit more. But a lot going on today. Thanks for the votes. We got, I was just looking. Throughout the day yesterday, we had 21 votes for the BDST Fan Question of the Week. Who's going to finish last in the ACC? And like I said, North Carolina has surged ahead. And I don't know if it was a product of our discussion that we had about Belichick and the continued issues there. So, by the way, I want to say this on behalf of Phil Steele, because he sent me a message about it. to talk about it. On Amazon, apparently there were knockoffs of this. Someone had created knockoffs of the Feel Still magazine. So he's been battling that for a couple of weeks. I wasn't aware of it. So Amazon finally took them down when I guess they have so much going on, they didn't realize that they were facsimile copies. So if you got one on Amazon, they were a lot shorter, they were cheaper, and I don't know. It was just a bunch of stuff that he's been dealing with. And it's bizarre. But anyway, Phil wanted me to pass along that the only way to get this book, the real one, that has 376 pages, is through Barnes and Noble, through him directly, and Books A Million. Okay? That's the only way to get it. The only way to get it. If anybody else is selling it, it's not real. So I'm trying to help him out because I've known him for, over 20 years. So there we go. Just, he asked me to help, so I'm helping. That's what I try to do, is help people. What's up, Tebow? Good morning. Glad you're back, man. That work schedule. I didn't know Tech had 30 guys, 300 pounds on this year's roster. When's the last time you've seen that kind of size at Tech? Well, size has got to equate into effectiveness. And if you're 300 plus pounds, you're playing one of two positions, or one of two, you're going to be on the offensive line or the defensive line. So hopefully they'll find some guys who can play. 187, glad I have it. I hope you do. Please subscribe. It's weird you asked that. We have foreskin chats all the time here on the program. It's crazy. It's just crazy. We'll have to get a monitor on Keon Brown, by the way, and see how upset he is that school's now here. School started in earnest here in Montgomery County. I got home yesterday afternoon, saw the buses pulling out of the school a little after 4:15. We have a couple of young people here in our neighborhood, and you just look back on it now, and you're so glad that you no longer have little kids in school that you have to deal with. Glad all that's over, because then that gets older and they get into college and becomes even worse. Even worse. Why do I think, hey, Bill, what's going on? Why do I think North Carolina took the lead? I think people are starting to look at the disaster that's Bill Belichick. I think that's what it is. there are going to be some bad teams. There's a potential there's going to be some bad teams in the ACC this year. I think Boston College is going to be a bad team. Carolina will likely be a bad team, right? Syracuse will not be a good team. Stanford will not be a good team. The bottom fourth of the ACC, the bottom third will be poor, will be very poor. But there just seems to be, at least for me, the vibe around Carolina and how they've allowed their vibe just to completely, their brand be taken over by the whole, this whole Belichick thing is bizarre to me. It really is. It's just bizarre to me. And I don't really understand. Universities do this a lot because it's money people that come in there, and I don't know what the amounts of money. I'm guessing they're multi-millionaires. But when they had an opening in their football program, Bubba Cunningham was not allowed really to be the guy to interview people, to go out and vet candidates. And then the big donors, someone had a connection to Belichick and he was interested, and he'd been out of football for a couple of years, and then boom. It happened, and it was short-sighted. He in no way, shape, or form was ready to come in and be a college football coach. He's not that guy. I mean, you think about NFL guys that have come directly from the NFL into college and been successful. I can't think of, I mean, I'm not talking about guys who were in college, went to the pros and went back. I'm just trying to think. What guy has left the NFL? Jim Harbaugh was in the NFL, went to his alma mater, so maybe just Jim Harbaugh, right? But y'all can help me with some names. I don't know. Y'all can let me know. Yeah, overall, Prometheus, you're right. Duke has been pound for pound better on the football field. Yeah, because you had Mike Elko was there. Correct. You know, and that got him the job at A&M, and he turned them around pretty quickly. Yeah. I believe it. And now it's just a mess, isn't it? And you got all these, rumors about how they're an attractive brand, and I know it's about basketball, but football's got to have some kind of momentum, I would think. But we looked at their record. We looked at their opponents. I mean, do you see more than 3 wins on there? At least going into it. And they are, here's the thing too, they're a heavy portal team. And I don't know if he has the staff to go out and evaluate kids the way you need to when you dedicate to being a heavy portal team. Like Tony Elliott seems to have gotten off to a great start with it. I'm not sure the Carolina coaching staff has that ability. Is that right, Low Country? That's what I was thinking. It's just Harbaugh, right? The only coach who's proven to do it at any level. Right? I was trying to think. I don't think there's been a guy from the NFL to go into college and have success. Harbaugh's the exception. Yeah, as quirky as he is. What's up, Nova Backstrom? Good morning. Please subscribe. As quirky as he is, and, they did some, they cheated at Michigan. They cheated. They cheated. But he's clearly a really good football coach. Clearly. Thanks, Nova. Appreciate that. But Harbaugh's it. Now, he needs to take a step this year with the Chargers. I thought that would be more of an immediate success rate, but it hasn't. That whole Charger thing with the quarterback, and that they're going to have to figure that out, aren't they? That needs to happen pretty quickly. It is morning. We are at 6:20 a.m. Eastern time. Nova, where are you? What time of day is it? Yeah, Jim was he was at Stanford before the 49ers. I thought he was in the NFL before that. It was like, I guess I didn't clarify. I know he was in the NFL before. Was Stanford his first job? Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was Stanford, 49ers, back to college, and then back to the NFL. So you're probably right, Prometheus. I think that powder blue affects Carolina's mental. That's a soft code. Oh, well, hello to Sweden. We have a couple of other Swedish subscribers, so that's pretty cool. Antarctica? Really? Hey, Billionaire Ash. Thanks for stopping by. Antarctica. Wow. Is it as cold as everybody says, Billionaire? Of course, if you're a billionaire, you can afford to keep warm. So Stanford, look, so I guess you can wipe him out then. Yeah. So Harbaugh will continue with he was a hell of a coach, but you're right. Yeah. Forgot all about the Stanford era. I don't know how with Andrew Luck. But yeah, Stanford, 49ers, Michigan, back now with the Chargers. So there hasn't been a guy who's purely been an NFL coach who's gone to college and had great success. Thanks again, Nova. That's why you're the smartest YouTube audience in America. So Carolina committed to this, and it's been the result that I think many of us thought it was going to be. I'm going to be very curious. That's what's so cool about early in the season. That game will be a one-off. It'll be on nationally, the game in Ireland against TCU. And you're going to see them fully on display, exposed, if you will. And there's more motivation there, I'm sure, for the TCU coaching staff or any coaching staff that's tried to do it in the college football way. I won't say the right way, but we have no explanation still about what Michael Lombardi did, the GM, who's been suspended indefinitely. We don't have any follow-up to why his son was sent away. We know he's had problems with, I believe, his daughter-in-law was arrested. I mean, you throw in any negative side story going into a camp in the start of a college football season. Right now, North Carolina is the poster boy for it. Where's Rodney? Where's Rodney? Yeah, Johnson was in college first to the NFL, yeah. I'm talking about being an NFL lifer going to college. That doesn't happen, does it? That just hasn't happened. Spurrier tried to go from college to the NFL. It didn't work. Just two different ball games, man. It's two different ball games. So you can go from college and have success in the NFL because we do have those examples. But it's tough to go from one to the other. College to the NFL has worked. NFL directly has not worked. But yeah, it's a wild scenario, man. Yeah, Herm Edwards tried, and that was remember he got fired on the field. You can still find that video. He got greeted in the end zone after I think they lost on Arizona, their arch rival, finished the year. There'd been a lot of controversy about some illegal things going on, and they fired him in the end zone. It was bizarre. He walks into the end zone, and he just shakes their hand and walks off the field. What's up, Randy, on the professional door text line? My thoughts on Clemson. Lifelong Tiger fan. My thoughts on Clemson. My thoughts on Clemson are I don't know what they are anymore. I think Dabo made massive mistakes heading into the portal era. Hubris and blatant arrogance got in the way of evolution. And he felt like, and I guess to his credit, he believed in it. Right? He believed in it. No problem, KB. Sending you your invite now. He believed in it to the point of fault. He thought he was bigger than the oncoming onslaught that was the portal, that was paying players and all that. So I really don't know. I'm not trying to give you a cop-out answer because I know you're a Clemson guy. I'm curious probably just as much as you are and other Clemson fans. Where they are, I don't know. I don't think they're in a great spot. I don't think he put together a very good posture at his media day. So I don't know. I don't know. Pretty quickly, I think. They've got some good defensive players. I'm not sure about the quarterback. I don't think he's sure about the quarterback. But I found a graphic yesterday I put up on the Facebook page, college football record since 2018 amongst the full-time ACC schools, and Clemson was 86-23 heading into this season. They have 23 more wins than the team who's next, and that's Miami. Virginia Tech's record is dead last, by the way. Whenever you talk about why is everybody so excited about James Franklin, Virginia Tech since 2018, 44-55. Boston College is a half game ahead of them, 44-54. So when I mentioned yesterday about how it was hard to look at any era post-Beamer except for maybe the first year and a half of Justin Fuente on the field, it was an immense fail across the board in the Virginia Tech Athletics administration. And that graphic sums it up more than any other. 44-55 on the football field since 2018. I mean, Wake Forest is 11 games over 500 during that span. There are 5 teams under 500. Carolina, like to Prometheus's point, they haven't been good for a while. Syracuse, Georgia Tech, BC, and then Virginia Tech. But we'll talk more about that. But so to answer your question, it's a big year, I think, for Dabo, Randy. Big year for Dabo. Joining us on the program, there he is. And, oh, my goodness, he's got school face going. What's going on, man? How are you? Good morning.
Today's the day. We're back today.
Today's the day.
It seems like it was just June last week, and we
you
were
just you were on vacation. You were happy,
and now we're at day one. It's just the beginning.
Wow. Yeah, I knew I was right because you told me you had to go regular cutoff time. Here we are back to all that. I know. Yeah. Well, what's your first period like? When you get there, what is your first period of the new school year like? What do you got?
I just slam my backpack on the desk and say hello. That's what it's like.
Do you turn your chair to your back to the team?
That's what it is. No, but it's pretty easy. The first quarter is always the easiest for the students because it's the first quarter. Everyone should get all A's and B's. The second quarter is always the fastest because you got Halloween, you got Thanksgiving, you got Christmas. The third quarter is the worst unless you get an ice storm like we got last year that took us out for almost 2 weeks. Then that cuts the quarter down to 7 weeks. The fourth is always, who cares about the fourth because we're about to go home for the summer and you sneak spring break in there. So if you break it down that way, that's how I've always done it. That's how it's always been going by so fast for me.
And you don't have basketball to fall on right now, right? Yeah. You're just you're just in that limbo mode. Yeah. I mean, you got your football team there in Washington.
Yep. And that's coming up soon. I think we got a preseason game on Friday. Right now, I'm still waiting on these schedules to drop. I know there's some adjustments for some teams, but my goodness, right now it's August 12th. We're about 83 days away from the tip of college basketball. And there are so many teams with no schedules out right now, not even the non-con. Like, what are we doing?
I'll have to share with you what I have. I have Radford's except for one game. Elon pulled out.
Yeah.
Elon pulled out.
Elon pulled out, but it was somebody I saw they picked up a game, I guess, from that date. I don't know.
Yeah, they're going to make money now. See, that's why they're doing that. Yeah. So I can tell you Radford's first 3 games. We're on the road in California, play the Bears, play San Francisco, Bill Russell's old gym.
Yep.
And then we go down to Knoxville, Tennessee, and it's old Rocky Top. You'll always be. That's the first 3 games for Red.
Okay. Tough 3 games to start the season.
We play in the now this is where I was going to talk to you. We'll just do it right now. What the hell? Yeah. The Highlanders are playing up in the MTE in DC.
Okay.
3 games in 3 days.
Okay.
So I think American. Let me see. Americans.
Is it Americans MTE?
Yes.
Oh, they had it last year. Yeah. I remember. It was Longwood was in it.
The Thanksgiving Classic.
Yep.
Yeah, so we're going to be up at American against American the first night, Hampton.
Okay.
In game 2, and then UMass Lowell in game 3.
Okay.
So there you go. You can hang out with us.
Yeah.
If you can make that time. I know it's Thanksgiving time.
Yeah, I'm filling up the schedule now, but right now I think I have one of those dates open.
Okay. Well, let me know. You know,
you're
welcome.
Sure.
You're welcome. You're welcome anytime. I mean,
man.
All you have to do is show up to arena, and you're on the air with me.
Yeah, absolutely. You know that. You know that. This is going on what, 5 years now, 6 years, whatever the case is.
Right.
Come on, man. We're there.
What's up, Chris Lester? How are you? All right. You're getting a lot of questions about LeBron. Tebow asking, does this make them an instant contender? Prometheus saying he's not even living in Philly. He'll be flying back to L.A. You mentioned this last week.
Yeah.
What do you
think?
Of
people. Doesn't make them a contender. It automatically makes them a contender. I think Philly is the favorite in the East. I think New York's going to get worse. No Mitchell Robinson. That's huge.
You think LeBron at 42 makes that big a difference?
Absolutely. The whole world's talking about it, saying they're a super team now. They weren't saying it before he joined. It's like I guess the oldest player in NBA history makes this team a super team. But I do. They're a really good team. Now, I think they're a backup center away from really being the team to beat in the NBA. I think Nick Richards is still a free agent. They need to find a way to get him because you can't trust Joel Embiid's health. You just can't. I don't care how skinny he is. I don't care if he lost 30 pounds over the summer. I don't care if this is the first summer that he hasn't had knee surgery. You just can't trust it. For as dominant as he is when he plays, you just can't. It's impossible. But when you talk about a backcourt, Philly has the best backcourt in the NBA. It's Tyrese Maxey, LeBron James, VJ Edgecombe, and Jaylen Brown. And off the bench, you got Anthony Simons. And you got KCP. They're loaded at the guard position. They have no worries there. It's those bigs that you have to worry about. And LeBron is a player that can play the 4, but at this age, you got to tail away from that as much as you possibly can. That's why they say he's going to be a point guard. He's not going to live in Philly. Most players don't live in Philly. I don't even think Jalen Hurts lives in Philly. I know Wilt Chamberlain didn't live in Philly. He was running a nightclub in Brooklyn. That's why he has a record that will never be broken. I'm not going to say it on Big Dog, but Rick, you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
That's a record I wish I had a part in. I'll tell you that. But I'm nowhere near him.
You could have been like a partner in the business and just kind of.
Yeah, I like to know my Radford record, though. We'll keep it there, though. What's my Radford record? I think I'm in the top 5. All right. But yeah, those guys are ready. And the NBA is also telling you that Philly is the team and that LeBron James, being the oldest player in the NBA, is still the face of the NBA. They have the most national TV games that you can possibly have in a season. So the NBA knows. That's why Adam Silver said, hurry up, man, pick. We already know that you're going to be the guy that we play more than anybody.
Yeah.
So pick something soon. And now you see what the results are. The most games on national TV of any team in the NBA.
Do you think, how many games will he play? You know he's going to be sitting out quite a few games.
Yeah. I say 55 to 60, between 55 to 60.
Yeah.
Yeah. So out of 82 games, yeah, that sounds about right to me.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. It's a long season.
Right.
It's a long ways away.
Yeah.
It's hard to think about the NBA for me.
And the tickets right now, I mean, he is just like, he changes the economy. Like, it's ridiculous. The tickets, the prices. You used to could go to a Philly game for $45 and get solid seats. Now you're paying $250 to sit at the top of the arena, to sit at the top of Wells Fargo. It's ridiculous. I mean, I get it. You're the draw, you're the face, but man, they hike those prices up.
No, of course they are. And people are going to eat it up. People are going to eat it up.
For sure. And I understand the opening day. They put out the opening day slate is Philly at New York. I can get why those tickets are high. It's opening night. It's New York getting their rings. It's LeBron's first game in Philly. To get in that game, I think it's like $400 to get in the building. So, hey, basketball is almost back. We're closer than you think. I mean, you know,
I know.
The NBA and all that media day starts in about 3 or 4 weeks.
And I hear it every morning in Dedmon Center. They're practicing every morning.
Yeah, man.
So it's here. Wayne asks, is Bronny going to be hired as the water boy?
Bronny's going to get some playing time for LA this year. He
You
really
think?
is. He improved a lot last year, especially getting those minutes in the playoffs. I forget the guy that they had that they signed from Sacramento. God, I can't think of his name off the top of my head. And he's still on the team. Man, Bronny was so much better than him. He was getting real playoff minutes. It was bad. God, I don't know why I'm drawing a blank right now. Laravia. That's what his name is. Oh, man. Whoa. Oh, man, he was bad. And he played a lot of minutes in the playoffs last year.
It's going to be funny to watch how ESPN shifts its coverage from LA to Philly.
The Lakers don't even have an opening
because
day
of one guy.
For the first time in 8 years. Oh, it's shifted already.
It's
already shifted.
No question about it. Well,
Lakers, they'll be solid. I think they'll be 6 to 8 seed somewhere in there, but it's all on Luka. He's been getting hurt a lot too. He gets hurt as much as Anthony Davis.
What's your take to see the day-to-day meltdown of the WNBA and the lack of leadership and the lack of everything?
Well, you're just dropping the ball right now. When you have a star that is Caitlin Clark, you market her the best way you can. There's a lot of things I want to say about this too, but I'm going to leave it alone. We can text because there's 2 subjects that I do not touch. And I'm not touching it now. I'm just not doing it. But when you have someone who is a star like that and, coming out of Iowa, coming to the WNBA, you don't do everything you can to make her the Michael Jordan of your league, and it's just going to make it right for everybody else. You drop the ball. And now 2 years later, she's still in the WNBA, and people are tuning away from her now. So it's like, man, that marketing machine that they don't have is coming to bite them now.
It's just an act. It's just an activist league. It's not a professional sports league. It's a league that's set up just for political, and you know that. That's why you don't. I get that. I get that. We know what that league's all about. We know what that league's all about. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. How much, by the way, I was watching Radford practice, and all these teams have been practicing so long. I mean, wow, since the 1st of July. Really.
Yeah.
4 or 5 weeks now, 6 weeks. How much does this? I guess we kind of know. It's been going on for a few years since they changed the rules. But how much does this help? How much of this can be retained heading into October?
I mean, it's more important now when you have so much turnover in college basketball. The rule changed when I was actually there. I was a part of the last rule and the new rule. The last rule was you pretty much had unlimited practices. When I first got to Radford, I said, there's not this much practice in the world. We practiced for 3.5 hours. I thought I was going to go crazy. I was like, you can't be serious that practice in college is this long. And then the next year they realized that it was too long, and they let you spread out the hours through the week, but you also can come in a bit early in the summer. It's more, effective now because of guys coming out of the transfer portal. I call college basketball now adhesion versus cohesion. Adhesion because it used to be you can get freshmen in, you can develop them, and they might sit on the bench the first year, but they're going to be contributors their second year. By the time you're a junior, you're a player who typically comes in and knows and can teach. And then when you're a senior, you've been there, done that. You don't have to learn anything. You just come in and produce. Now it's a situation where you come in and you have to produce immediately. And if not, both parties are going to separate. You're going to enter the transfer portal, or they're going to try to force you out. So it's very important now because you have to try to learn the offense, learn the defense. One of the most difficult things that I don't hear anybody talking about is learning the terminology of the program that you're in. And that stuff takes time, and it's not easy. I can only imagine what it's like for some of these guys who are at their 4th school in 4 years, 3rd school in 3 years, 2nd school in 2 years. It's tough, but now you're expected to win immediately. There's no time for turnaround in 3 or 4 years in college basketball. ADs want wins, and they want them now.
Well, you're right. You're right. And I think Wayne's right, too. We had Coach Lynn on. I talked to Mike Morrell the other day. I think getting to know players, or players getting to know one another that's coming from so many different places, maybe that's what this is the best for, to kind of learn how guys are going to run up and down the floor and how they're going to try to go about setting the offense and just trying to get to know each other as people now, because it is such a different world. It's a struggle. I mean, I see it with the Radford play. They're trying, but you can see it, man. There's already clicks, because it's just natural. It's just natural.
Yeah, and when I was coming up in Radford, we had so many freshmen. I think it was 5 or 6 of us. But the sophomores were so young as well that it was about 4 or 5 of them as well. So we all kind of gelled together, and that's why we kind of took off that sophomore year. We were really good, sophomore and junior year. But now, I mean, I wonder how difficult it is for coaches. You can't get much sleep because you're trying to put lineups together. You're trying to make sure each player understands what their specific role is. It's just tough now. It's not just football, it's basketball as well. I can only imagine for the football squad as well, as many guys on the roster.
No question. No question about it. And I think for you guys too, I hate to say this, but the curriculum academically brought you together too. You're all going through the same things, trying to, get off to a great start from the academic side. You don't hear much about that at all.
Of course not. But I knew how important that was, for sure.
Exactly.
I graduated a year early. I didn't want to go to class as much, but I was the guy that was naturally smart. And I was also a guy who I literally in college never studied for one exam, one test. I just didn't do it. I promise you, I did not one time. I went in there, said a prayer, and kept it pushing, and it made it out a year early. Even when I went to UVA for grad school, I never studied. I just didn't.
So you got your retention. You talked about that. You retain things, right?
Yeah.
And that's the whole key to being successful in school.
I understand everybody's not like that. I really do. I get it.
Yeah, a lot of people have to
wouldn't recommend anybody watching who's in school to do that. It just worked for me.
It just works for you. That's all you can do is what works for you. It's interesting. When you have football ahead, we're getting in like tomorrow night is the first soccer game I'm broadcasting. I'm not really in basketball mode.
Yeah. It's like riding a bike for you, though. I mean, once you wobble a little bit when you go, but once you get that first pedal in there, you're good to go.
I hope that plane doesn't wobble out to California the first weekend.
Yeah.
It sucks because we're flying on my birthday. That's what sucks. We're flying on Halloween.
It's about a 6-hour drive. I'm a 6-hour flight, I meant. What is it?
I don't know what it is anymore. Who knows? With the airlines, everything's. I'm sure it's going to be a problem.
Hopefully, there's no layover. Hopefully,
I'm sure there will be. I'm sure there will be. Right? I don't trust anything about air travel right now.
Yep.
It just seems to be. You should go. You should go. You should go. You should go with me out to California.
I want to. I really do. They got a ticket with my name on it. I'll be on there. I also need more gear. I'm still going to promote myself for that. This shirt is still a decade.
I'm going to work on that for you. I'm going to work on that for you.
Size extra large, man. My goodness.
I mean, they had me address the team, so I feel like I'm in now. So let me see what I can do regarding that. What are you, a double X because you're tall?
I'm a XL.
You're an XL.
Yeah.
You don't need like tall and all that stuff, right?
Just a straight XL.
Okay. All right. I'll work on that for you.
Thank you.
I'll use the former player. Hey, come on now.
Come on, man.
We got Highlander lifers here. We want to help them out. Yeah, exactly.
I think after a decade, I should get something new.
What are you wearing? Are you wearing? Is that like sophomore year stuff? What are you wearing?
This is my senior year. This is 10 years old. It still looks good. I rarely wear this one. This one is.
That does look good, though. Yeah. That does look good.
This one doesn't get touched.
Did you take your uniform or shooting shirt from Radford?
Yeah, I got all that stuff.
I was going to say they let you just. Yeah, I thought.
No, they didn't let me do anything. I just took it.
Yeah,
I can say it. Hey, 10 years. It's 10 years later now. I can say it. I'm good. Nobody's gonna do anything to me. I don't.
Do you have it in a frame? You should put it in a frame.
I don't, but I don't. One's at my mom's house. Two of them's upstairs of the jerseys. The shorts are over there somewhere. The shooting shirt is somewhere in a bag. I got Cam's practice. I got everything, dude.
You got it all.
Yeah. As soon as we lost at the buzzer, the Presbyterian, I was upset. I said my goodbyes. I went in and hugged Coach Getter when he was with Liberty, and I ran to the locker room to the general manager's bag to see what I can get.
I hate that was your last game.
Yeah, that was. We lost a few times in the tournament at the buzzer. My freshman year, we started it at the buzzer. Joab Jerome went baseline and hit this miracle shot, And then my last year as a senior, we lose on a putback at the buzzer.
Yeah, defended the first shot so well.
Yep, it was
and then,
beautiful. Yeah.
Who was the kid that snuck in there? He was their best player. He snuck
Yeah, it
in
was
there.
the kid, Deshaun Mary, who ended up transferring to Auburn.
And he laid it in at the buzzer. That was the game that I just put my head down.
Yeah.
Because we should have won the tournament that year.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's the year Asheville won, with all those freshmen. They won with all freshmen.
And then Presby got beat pretty badly the next round.
It didn't help that Yaya got suspended the day before either.
No.
From the NCAA. He got suspended from the NCAA. It wasn't even a Radford thing.
No, it wasn't a Radford thing.
Yeah.
And that carried over into it, I know, a little bit. But
that was huge.
That was a bad day.
Absolutely.
That was a drive
home. It was
home.
bad my first year, though, when the tournament was in Myrtle Beach. We weren't even there for 24 hours. I was like, this is college basketball. This was like losing in the tournament.
You get in, you sleep, practice, shoot around.
We got there like 4 o'clock. We got there at 4 o'clock on Tuesday because we played Wednesday. We got there at 4 o'clock. We played at noon on Wednesday. By 2:30, we were on the bus back to Radford.
Who beat it? Was that Winthrop?
That was Winthrop. That was Joab Jerome. Yeah, that was at the buzzer too.
That was the buzzer. That's right. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. There's teams from South Carolina, man. Screw them.
They got us. Those were good teams, though. Those are great memories.
Yeah. Well, brother, I hope you have a great first day. I know you got to get out, get to class.
You all pray for me.
To all the kids. Yeah, Chris Lester said he will be praying for you.
Yeah. You all pray for me.
Well,
I got an easy schedule. It's like hard day, easy day. Hard day today was a hard day. So I make it past today, I'm good.
Chaos, everybody getting back in there and finding
it's ridiculous. And they did something in my school district where they rezoned the neighborhoods. So, like, for example, the neighborhood that I live in, there's a high school 5 minutes away. They've rezoned them to a high school 15 minutes away.
Really?
Make it make sense. How ridiculous is that? So now there's a lot of new kids coming in. They won't know that we have the most kids coming in because of this change in addresses and all that out of any school in the county.
Really?
So we're about to have 2,500 new kids today. So here we go.
Another bad decision made by people put in charge, right?
It makes no sense at all.
It doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
And then there's a new high school. That's a part of the reason they don't have any senior. They don't have a senior class, but the new high school opens today. So now at the bus stop, you're going to see different schools with seniors go.
Wow. That's just weird, isn't it?
Multiple schools at one bus stop.
That's weird.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
make it make sense. Welcome to Jumanji, I guess. It's going to be insane.
Yeah, I understand. Well, Godspeed, my friend. We'll be thinking about you.
All right, brother. Appreciate it.
All right, brother. Have a good day, and we'll see you next week. All right, there you go. Keon Brown, so excited about day one. David's sort of like coming up, David Teal and Bill Roth here on our anniversary week. Oh yeah, I didn't bring up anniversary week to Keon. It's good stuff. He's going to have more fun than he thinks. So breaking news. Well, it's not breaking news. We've got a couple things. So the Vikings, no shock, named Kyler Murray their starting quarterback. The horrible draft pick of J.J. McCarthy now has come full circle. They could have taken Bo Nix. We'll talk about this tomorrow with David Smith. But the one thing that showed up just now is Paul Skeens. You know, Paul Skeens took baseball by storm the last couple of years, the pitcher for the Pirates, their ace. So last night, he asked to come out of the game after 65 pitches. He's a guy who was throwing up 99, 99, 100, 98. He didn't hit 96 last night, and he wouldn't answer any questions after the game. This pitching is just we talk about this a lot, and I don't understand what is going on And, now all of a sudden you got to wonder, is Paul Skeens going to have something go on? I hope not. Lord, I hope I'm wrong. I want to be wrong. But that's weird. Already. He hadn't had a great year. Velocity's been down all year. And then last night he asked to come out. I'm telling you, man. Somebody needs to figure it out. What's going on with baseball and pitchers here in 2026? Now, Keon not feeling it today, Brian. Right? He's not. Ooh. And a question I want to bring up tomorrow, too, with David Smith. Does the NFL have a quarterback developmental problem, or is it an evaluation problem? J.J. McCarthy never should have been a first-round pick. We said it to our credit back when he was drafted on the radio show. He was never anyone – he played an offense that didn't throw the football under Jim Harbaugh. Why the Vikings stepped up and made him that guy, I don't know. I'm glad they did. That allowed Bo Nix to fall to the Broncos. But does the NFL have a problem developing quarterbacks? Or is it just a complete miss of evaluation of quarterbacks? He's a quarterback. We have an early pick. We'll never pick this early again. Like the Rams, they felt like they had to take Ty Simpson, right? I don't know what he might end up being. Who knows? But this is something I want to talk about with David tomorrow. Because you see failed draft pick after failed draft pick at that position. You go through it. And when you get it right, you deserve to celebrate, right? But that's going to set the Vikings franchise back. They had Sam Darnold in the house, and he wins the Super Bowl with another franchise. And you let him go. You tell him he's not good enough, and then you go out and you draft his replacement, and he could not cut it in the NFL. You bring in Kyler Murray, who could not cut it at his former team, and he beat you out this early in camp. Before even going through the preseason, there's not even going to be a preseason battle. Kevin O'Donnell said, "You're our guy." And good luck to Kyler Murray. I hope he can bounce back and have a good secondary. I think he's a good dude. He's just had some injury problems, and I think he's had to learn to play the game. But we'll talk to David Smith about that. Chris is saying developmental problems. Anthony Richardson. Should he have ever been drafted in the first round? He wasn't that great at Florida. He's going to be traded. The Colts have said he will not be on our roster to start our season. It's interesting. Will McCarthy get a chance anywhere else? No. How many of these other rooms just kind of chuckle when they see some of these picks? Some work out, some take a little longer. But how do you look at it? Is it developmental or is it evaluation? We'll talk to Coach Elmo about that a little bit too. He can speak to that on Friday. Yeah, he's right. Parcells said 36 starts. To really evaluate a quarterback, 36 starts in college. Especially when you're playing at a school that, you weren't the reason why the offense was successful. You were just literally a game manager because Michigan was going to run the football, control passing game. And yet one franchise in the NFL identified you as being their future for 10 to 12 years. That is evaluation. That is poor evaluation. But then once they get there, even if you've made a poor evaluation, he did not develop. These guys aren't getting better. I'm worried about C.J. Stroud, a guy that I thought was going to be good for a long time. Now, this is going to prove Chris's point. They evaluated right because C.J. Stroud got off to a great start. But have they continued to develop him because he was terrible last year? And now this year, the Houston quarterback is trying to earn his job long term. If he falters in the first month of the season, the Miko Ryans will sit him down. So that kind of proves Chris's point. They evaluated well on him. He got off to a great start, but he has not developed since he's gotten to the league. Bo Nix was a guy that a lot of people weren't that high on, right? But he's with the right coach. I mean, Sean Payton is a quarterback developer. You heard Drew Brees talk about it all during his speech, what that relationship meant. That's why he is in the Hall of Fame. But that's going to be fun. Be a fun conversation. We'll get David's take on that tomorrow. The NFL humbles everyone. You have to keep evolving as a player. Yeah. And at that position, right, there's going to be examples, both sides of it. It'll be very interesting. But I think that's something we need to talk about tomorrow. I think that'll be very interesting. Get his take on that. All right, good. David's watching. He's in. He's in. And, we can go through all the teams and we can look at it. But, David said Kyler Murray was going to be the guy. He is. The C.J. Stroud's a good example. They evaluated correctly. Jaden Daniels, they evaluated correctly. Now, his has been tied to injuries, but how does he come out of that this year? How do you keep developing these quarterbacks? I think I am on the side of Chris a little bit here. I think it's continued development, working, making sure these guys, young in their careers, progress. Right? Now, some just have the natural ability to be able to overcome the elements of the NFL, some more than others. The mental part, the defense is evolving, like Prometheus is saying. Yeah, I agree, Tebow. Nix and Hurts are both kind of guys that people weren't excited about. Sean Payton was excited. The Eagles were excited that Hurts was there when they took him. And you can't argue with the results in Philly. I'm hoping that Nix gets to that level. Coming off his first major injury that knocked him out of his first championship game. Good stuff, though. And we'll hit that up with the best NFL analyst over topics like that and many others, David Smith. So we'll get a good vibe on. But anyway, it's an interesting question. J.J. McCarthy out, and we'll see if the Vikings can find anyone silly enough to take him off their hands. We'll see. Good morning, Rick. What a crazy world. Woke up to the news that the Cardinals, Louisville, added Seth Trimble. Damian Sordelette joining us on the program. He's the Virginia Tech. I'll be writer for the Running Times. What's up, Damian? How are you doing?
Morning. Probably a better morning for me than one of your guests tomorrow who's a Vikings fan and is probably got to deal with Kyler Murray being the starter over J.J. McCarthy. But
Ooh. Well, let me ask you. We just brought it up. We're going to talk about it tomorrow. Is it a problem with the NFL in developing these quarterbacks, these young quarterbacks, or is it a problem of the evaluation, or is it a little bit from column A, a little bit from column B?
I think it's both. I mean, someone put up a list of recent draft quarterbacks who've been drafted who are all benched. And that says it's a combination of both. You're not developing them well, and you're probably not evaluating them, and you're going after hype after maybe one good season. I mean, look at these quarterbacks who have been taken recently and they had one good year at the college ranks and you didn't see consistency from them, or they bounced around from multiple place to multiple places and you weren't able to develop, and you're going after paychecks and you're going after schemes that fit you instead of adapting to schemes and learning how to fit within an offense. And then you get to the NFL and they're like, well, you're under contract for multiple years. You're going to have to learn how to fit into this offense. And they just haven't done that. That's why I think Caleb Williams has been successful in Chicago. It took him some time, but he stayed at USC and developed into that system with Lincoln Riley. So I think that's why you see these players be successful, that like a Caleb Williams, who has proven that he was worthy of being a high draft pick because he stayed in one system, learned how to be molded in that system and be coached in that system. And now he's thriving in the NFL after a shaky rookie year as he learned how to do it. So the Bears did a good job evaluating that. And I think these other franchises just haven't done a good job of evaluating them and seeing, hey, these guys bounced around. I know JJ McCarthy didn't bounce around. He stayed at Michigan, but some of these other guys just bounced around, looked for a better fit, and you can't do that in the NFL. You're under contract and you have to fit in. And I think this is the one downside of the transfer portal era. If you're not learning in the system and growing, and you're trying to bounce around to something that fits you better, it's not going to work out in the long run.
And now look at college football. That's what we're down to as well, right? Brent Pry evaluated that position very poorly. That may have been the thing that hung over his entire tenure as the head football coach at Virginia Tech. He could not find a quarterback to run his version of what he wanted to see offensively. He went out and spent a lot of money on a guy that only had 2 starts at another school, and he never developed him, nor did he evaluate him correctly. And maybe, now we're going to see that go to the college game a lot, aren't we? It's going to be the same type of trend, one way or the other.
Yeah, and it also didn't help that Brent Pry didn't have a true quarterbacks coach for 2 years because Tyler Bowen was not a quarterbacks coach.
Yeah, exactly. Well, how'd it go on Sunday? How was media day?
It was fun. Talked to 17 players in a 50-minute span. So
good.
Got around to as many as I could. I'll tell you the one interesting tidbit I got. I know the injury stuff's really the intriguing aspect. I know Andy brought up his interview with Jacques White, the MCL and ACL injuries he suffered at the spring game and coming back from that. Talked to Quentin Reddish. He said his injury was more of a long-term situation where it's dating back to high school, and that he just never had it worked on. He thought it'd heal naturally, and then I think everything lined up for him to get it worked on last year. He said it sucked not being able to be on the field and playing last season, but he looked at it from a long-term perspective that it was better to get. He didn't mention what needed to be fixed. I don't remember if it was a shoulder or an elbow, but said he wanted to get that fixed, and I think it worked out for him in the long run. He looks better. He looks back in where he was shape-wise. I know Chuck Losey and those guys did a lot of work with him getting his upper body strength back after he wasn't able to do much of anything last season and through the winter in terms of upper body strength because of the injury. So he said he got cleared in late April after the spring game. So that's safety one right there. So, and also, Ethan Grunkemeyer and Kyle Tuner were on the same team at the Under Armour All-American game a few years ago, and Grunk was telling me, he texted with Altuner when he was coming to Virginia Tech. He's like, all right, getting the band back together. And so they have a good relationship, and that's why I think, QB1 and center one are very important with this, because Grunk says just from his limited time working with Altuner a few years ago, he has trust in him to see things, maybe make adjustments at the line of scrimmage in terms of protection based on what he sees. And so those were some of my big takeaways, other than like Justin Terry and Logan Howland are massive human beings. And it wouldn't shock me, whoever wins the left tackle job, the other ones might be starting at right tackle if you need to swing Cunningham inside. So, yeah.
Well, I think you make a great point. It's not talked about enough, that relationship between center and quarterback, whether it's collegiate level, high school levels, NFL level. I mean, your best quarterbacks have a center that they're really tight with, right? So, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense, that relationship, that whole relationship.
And Grunkemeyer said he was his favorite teammate from that Under Armour All-American game. Also, I want to say this. The tight end group is all for running some 14 personnel this year.
Of course they are.
Yeah, they said that with Ty Howell as the OC, he's having them learn X and Z in case they're needed out there. And Benji Gosnell and Jarikas Harrison were up front and saying that they, on the record, that they feel they can run 14 and run their base offense. I don't know how many times you want to take Aiden Green or Quayshawn Brown off the field, but
yeah,
I could see some goal line situations where you line up 4 tight ends out there, bigger bodies, and you can run some fade routes. You can run stuff on them that you can have bigger bodies exploit these smaller cornerbacks. So I'm not going to say they're going to run 14, especially after seeing Davion Brown twice so far in practice, and he looks legit. So it'll be tough to get 4 tight ends out there, but the tight end group wants it.
Of course they do. Of course they do.
Especially after getting so underutilized last year. I mean, Philip Montgomery didn't know how to use a tight end.
Well, yeah, that's been a while. I mean, I can't remember the last time, to be honest. Was that Fuente's first year, couple years? Was that the last time? I can't even remember the last time we talked about a tight end being prominent in the Tech offense, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and Sam Rogers was more of a utility knife.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he was kind of an H-back, fullback, whatever it was, right?
Tight end,
yeah, you're right. How has the line looked overall? Have you liked what you've seen, what you've heard? You mentioned the size of those guys, but how are they coming together? Are they finally finding 5 guys that you think they're going to be able to rely on week to week?
I don't think they're at the 5 yet. We haven't talked since they announced Johnny Garrett's out long term. Garrett was probably going to be an inside guy.
Yep.
But I did ask Matt Moore what a difference a year makes, because if you lost Johnny Garrett at this point last year, would you have been up the creek without a paddle? And he said pretty much. But the fact that they have so much depth now, Andy asked Ty Howell if there's a timeline on getting the offensive line set. And he said, yeah, you have to get your first 5 sets, so you can get them some reps together. So
exactly.
I would say probably this week to next week, you'll start seeing that come into focus a little bit more. But Matt Moore still says they got about 10 to 11 guys who he feels like can start or be in that mix. And that's a far cry from where they were last year, where it was, all right, we have 5, but if someone gets hurt, who are we going to next? And Matt Moore loves the 5 for 5 rule because last year, I think he would have played Gavin Crawford more. He did have to put him in for extended snaps against ODU after Laith Gannon went down with an injury. And then it was like, yeah, we can't really burn his shirt yet. now it's like you can get those younger guys some snaps. So, no, Benjamin Eziuka is someone who could work his way into the 2 deep as a freshman. Get him some snaps, then hopefully you see guys like a Thomas Wilder, Tyrell Simpson. Those guys get some snaps at some point just to get them some experience. But yeah, to answer your question, I think we're going to see starting line come late this week, maybe next week. Try to get them some run leading into the opener.
Anything you came away with that you were, I don't know, more pleased with than you thought you would be, or more concerned with that you thought you would be after kind of being around practice the first week and then, topped off with media day yesterday?
Linebacker depth. That's a bit of a concern because Brent Pry's saying they are doing a ton of cross training to create depth. Behind
That's not good. That's not good.
Yeah, behind Noah Chambers, Keon Wiley, and Caleb Spencer, there's bit unknown. They really like Curtis Jones. Problem is at West Virginia, he was more of a edge guy. They had some packages for him on offense as well. So he just doesn't have a lot of experience at the second level at linebacker. And Pry really likes him at the will spot. They're kind of in the box, playing to the boundary side. It's just getting him some reps. Pry did say he's going to factor in and he expects to factor in. But right now, Caleb Spencer's cross-training at all 3 spots. They like him at Mike in nickel packages because he can match up against running backs and tight ends, and you're not losing anything in coverage-wise. Noah Chambers is strictly at Mike, and then at Sam, they've moved Sherrod Koval from nickel to Sam, and he's working at both Sam and nickel as someone who has coverage experience. But right now, Pry wants some guys to come along. Terry Wiggins might be one of those young guys, but haven't seen. I mean, I'll say this about Wiggins. He had great coverage against Jeffrey Overton. I went and watched some one-on-one with the linebackers and running backs. Great coverage on Jeffrey Overton. Just Overton mossed him with a one-handed catch. Wiggins couldn't have had better coverage, but when you're going up against Jeffrey Overton, yeah, that's a losing battle to begin with. So they got. I like some of the younger pieces, but Pry probably isn't ready to put them in yet, which is why the rotation is going to be kind of thin early on, trying to make sure the right guys are on there and kind of develop some guys. But linebacker is a bit of a question mark early on.
Well, Overton's going to be the guy, right? I mean, they can talk about Hawkins, and I guess they're going to use different backs, but Overton's going to be the bell cow, right? Just because of his sheer talent alone. They got everything you hear about him. But Mike Burnip was on there yesterday talking about this guy. He's just, every time you hear a conversation about the running backs, his name's the first one mentioned.
Yeah, they're probably going to ride Hawkins early, though, because remember, Overton is a little more than a year, it'll be a little less than 2 years removed from the ACL injury. So they probably still want to be fairly cautious with them. I think Hawkins will probably get the early work, but I'm in the same boat with you. Overton's too good. And then the number 3 spot, I don't know, Messiah Mickens looked pretty good in the practices I've seen. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. Just to say, Bill Davis's route running, it's maybe 5 yards and out. Mickens can get you up the seam. He can run the real route. That's what Overton beat Wiggins with on that one-handed catch. So that's going to be intriguing to see. But I think early on, it'll be Marcellus Hawkins This is his last year, so they're probably going to give him the chance to make his case for the NFL. But I do think at some point the switch is going to be flipped and it's going to be Overton. I think it's going to be sooner rather than later, but I think they want to get Hawkins going, let him have the lion's share of the carries, and might be like last year. You keep Overton going throughout the year. You give him like 7 to 8 carries a game, and then boom, let him take off. Because we saw that, that Miami defense, Overton made him look slow on that touchdown run. So we know Overton's got the explosiveness, and I think he's ready to take over. It's just a matter of, when do they take the harness off and let him go?
He looked like Kevin Jones to me on that run. I saw the highlight. I'm thinking, that's Kevin Jones. That's who that looked like to me.
That's Kevin Jones when he went to number 7. When he went to number 7.
Yeah, from 25 to 7. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wayne says they're going to have short yardage packages for Baker. I hope we don't see the maneuvering of quarterbacks. What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, you'll see. Ideally, you're going to play 2 to 3 quarterbacks against VMI because you're going to be so far ahead.
Yeah.
And if you're not far ahead, then something's wrong. I do want to see those guys outside of Grunkemeyer, get some experience early in the year. I don't know. We've always thought Baker would be the number 2 guy, but does Troy Hune factor in now that you don't have to worry about redshirting? So it'll be interesting to see, again, how that plays out. But if you're going to do short yardage, I'd rather go to the Wildcat, keep Grunkemeyer on the field, and utilize Jerikas Hairston, utilize Luke Reynolds, utilize A.J. Brand. That would be my route to go. Keep Grunkemeyer on the field. And as long as you have him there kind of split back a bit, you have the option of, throw back to him and he can deliver the pass down the field. You at least create that illusion when you're in the Wildcat. So Jerikas Harrison said they hadn't gotten to the Wildcat package yet. It's early in camp, but he said it's coming. And you got 2 guys in the tight end room who are high on the depth chart, in Reynolds and Harrison, who got some Wildcat snaps in the spring, and AJ Brand's going to be in the Wildcat package as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, I would much rather have that be the case. I don't want to see another quarterback coming in and taking over the huddle. I don't want to see any more dual quarterbacks happening after what we witnessed.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So we'll see. But, yeah, you got other people there that can handle that load. I'd much rather have that. I'd much rather give it to Luke Reynolds. I love that. Why not?
Yeah.
Let's do something like that instead of bringing in a quarterback into the huddle who hadn't taken a snap. And, yeah, why not?
The blueprint was set in 2024 with Tyler Warren. He did about everything.
Yeah.
He was the Mackey Award winner.
Yeah, he did stuff like that all the time on 4th and short yardage. Absolutely. Yeah, it would make perfect sense. It was good. All the hype and excitement, because it's VMI and you're 50.5-point favorites. How quickly do you think? I guess we'll have to see how the game goes, but it can be beneficial from a depth standpoint. It's about the only thing they're going to get out of that game. But like you're saying, it is to give them an opportunity to get some younger guys out there and try a lot of different things they normally would not, which is why you should never put on the schedule somebody you're 50 points better than. But what do you think? I mean, is that going to be one of those things where they're going to be torn between trying to get the starters enough repetition in front of the home crowd and then, okay, we got to pick our spots here? I mean, that's really going to be the only problem they have with this VMI Open.
Yeah, I expect it to be a very vanilla play calling on both sides. You don't want to show too much early. I think you just run your base stuff, and I would say probably the starters will play, if everything goes according to plan and you're running up the score, the starters will probably play the first series of the 3rd quarter, and then you get to the backups. And this is where you get some guys some game experience. Also, I mean, we'll know how good VMI is because they play week 0 at Idaho State. So we'll get to see if VMI with this triple option offense with Ashley Ingram running it, 3-4 defensive scheme that the coordinator brought over from Bucknell, or Cornell, one of those schools. How good is it going to look? So, this isn't the original military classic of the South. It's a little bit more one-sided than it was when they played at Victory Stadium all those years ago.
Are they on the road at Idaho State?
They are.
Okay. All right. Well, at least they get a road trip under their belt, right?
They get a road trip, but they're going to Mountain Time Zone and then coming back. So, yeah, we'll talk about that later when Virginia Tech goes to Cal and then has to come back and turn around and immediately play Georgia Tech later in the year, which is one of those not a great look on the schedule when you have to go play a really good Cal team, then come across back home and play a really physical Georgia Tech team. Not good on the schedule.
No.
But yeah, the say very vanilla against VMI, and then you get the younger guys in there, get some experience, especially at the quarterback spot. See what things look like, so that way, if you need people down the line, at least they have some experience.
And have everybody tell me they can go ahead and write off Old Dominion, and I'm like, let's not write off Old Dominion yet. I'm going to give Ricky Ronnie a little bit of credit here. He's shown he can find talented players, and he knew he was going to be poached. All right. And he knew he was going to lose his quarterback. I mean, this he's built Old Dominion from the ground up. And this is a program that's made a lot of progress. And I'm not saying they're going to come in here and win the game, but it's going to be night and day VMI when they play Old Dominion in week 2, in my opinion.
I agree.
Right.
Right. And Old Dominion will have a game under its belt with a brand new 2 deep on the offensive line. They'll hopefully figured out some things on the back end of the defense because they lost their best defensive players to the portal and graduation. I mean, they were picked to finish behind James Madison in the Sun Belt East, which means you have a chance. So I don't overlook ODU.
Especially given the history. You can't. Right?
Oh yeah. Because how much is James Franklin going to run up the score again? Well, Brent Pry might try to get James Franklin to run up the score after what happened last year.
Which, he shouldn't. It's the fact his defense couldn't stop Ricky Ronnie's offense. I don't think they were trying to run it up. They just couldn't stop them. They just could not stop them. So,
no.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be interesting. Ronnie and Pry and James Franklin all in the same stadium that Saturday night. It's going to be interesting. Very interesting. Wayne says, do we look bigger overall? He's talking about Tech overall. I'm assuming that's yes after listening to Burnup, right? They look a lot bigger than they have in the past.
And James Franklin said that they look like ACC players now. They look it. He said for some of them, the emotional and mental side of it, maybe not as much. But yes, they're bigger. Maddox Cochran, who's a freshman from Benedictine, he is the only offensive lineman who's not 300 plus. He's at 285. I think every defensive tackle is 300 plus. Most of the defensive ends are 250. I mean, they even got Javion Hilson up to close to 250 after he came in at 220. They look the part. I'll say this: Chuck Losey and Jarrett Ferguson and those guys did some work with them. I mean, even James Franklin joked around that Jerikas Hairston went home to Bassett for 1 weekend and came back 16 pounds heavier. And Franklin was like, I don't know what his mom was cooking there. But Hairston looks in good shape. I talked to him on Sunday. He's the number 3 tight end behind Reynolds and Gosnell. So they look the part. I'll say this. I kind of agree with Chris Coleman. The arm talent from the quarterback room is significantly improved, 1 through 4.
Oh yeah, I mean Grunkemeyer we already kind of knew after watching him on full display against really good teams last year, right?
Yeah, and then Troy Hume looks good. I'll say this: Bryce Baker and Keldon Ryan look good throwing it. I know it was against air and it was 2 wide receiver without DB covering them, but those guys are throwing 40-yard routes in stride to these receivers, and they're not having to wait for it or come back or anything like that like they did in years past. So,
well, it'll be interesting to see what the quarterback room looks like going forward because they're all not going to be on this roster next year. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah, especially with Peter Bork coming in.
Like, there's just no way. If Grunk stays and he's going to be there a year or two, Hume will not be there next year. I doubt Baker will be there next year with Bork coming in. If Bork still comes, you just don't know. You just don't know.
And again, but Bryce Baker was recruited by Penn State. Danny O'Brien went to the same high school. Bryce Baker said in the spring that he didn't want to make the decision he made coming out of high school, which was he chased the money to North Carolina. And he wants to stay at a place where he feels like he can develop. And right now, everything he said, he feels like he can develop at Virginia Tech. So,
yeah. Well, we'll see. Kids want to play, though. He's not going to sit there and develop for 2 or 3 years. I mean,
well, if he develops for 2 or 3 years, he'll run out of eligibility. So
correct. So that's what I'm saying. And so they don't have all it's just the mindset overall has changed so much dramatically across the board, across the nation. It's just bizarre. It's bizarre, but we'll see.
And one thing that could help with that is whether it's the Protect College Sports Act or something else.
Yeah. It's in limbo again.
When it comes to the retention pool, add in another 20-some million on top of the rev share. I don't see how how every college is gonna have $50 million a year available for rev share, player retention, all this stuff. It's like that's not feasible.
No, it's not. So that's why guys will leave, I think, to get with theirs while they can. I don't think that bill's ever going to pass, to be honest. I hope I'm wrong. I want to be wrong. Tell me I'm wrong.
Good elements. It has some good elements to it, and then it has some. I don't know when Ashley Moody from Florida, who was the AG in Florida when FSU sued the ACC, is pushing to have a provision in that bill that teams can move to new leagues without having the 5-year independent penalty.
That's gaining momentum. Yeah, that's gaining momentum.
She is looking out for Miami and FSU in that sense. If they can go somewhere, great. But I don't know if there's a room for them because the SEC is going to be like, we already got Florida. We don't need any other Florida teams.
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to the networks and because they're working with the networks now, the SEC and the Big Ten right now. This is all about going on. What do you need the league to look like? What are we going to do to maximize? What's our projections in 5 years with a new TV deal? Who do we need to add? Throw out Notre Dame. Notre Dame's never coming in anywhere. What do we need? And that's what I think is going on right now with the Big Ten and the SEC.
And
which is why that bill came out. Yeah.
Right. And if you can only cap your league at 19 members, I mean, the Big Ten's only got room for 1 spot. The SEC's got room for 3 spots. So, but then you get in the situation that you have right now with the ACC with an odd number of teams. You're going to have an unbalanced schedule where if you want to play 9 league games, one team's going to have to play 8 every year because the numbers don't add up.
Yeah. The league has not been run very well. Let's just say it the way it is.
No.
It's not a personal attack against Jim Phillips, but he's not been a great commissioner for the ACC in any way.
I'm also mentioning that with the PCSA, if they go to, you only top it at 19, you're going to run into the same situation the ACC is running into right now at 17, where it's going to be hard for everyone to play the same number of games, league games, on a yearly basis. So that's where, I just wish the ACC and the Big 12 would come to a mutual agreement where you trade West Virginia, UCF, and I think there's another team in there for Stanford, Cal, and SMU. Send them to the Big 12, bring WVU and UCF to the ACC, and then there you go.
I like that. The Cal Stanford move is still the dumbest thing I've ever seen in terms of geographical location from one conference to the other. So, yeah, why not?
The Big Ten deciding to go to the West like that was dumb as well, because you went from a Northeast, slightly Midwest league to we're going to span from Rutgers near the Atlantic Ocean all the way out to the West Coast. That was dumb.
Well, I understood the LA market grab. But Oregon, Washington, yeah, that was a little strange, I guess. Yeah. Having the second biggest media market in your back pocket was big, but it hasn't panned out that way. UCLA is rebuilding, got a new coaching staff, trying to figure out if they're ever going to be viable in that league. And USC has not done what they hoped with Lincoln Riley in any way, shape, or form.
Exactly.
They really underachieved. Yeah.
I mean, Oregon has been the best addition so far.
No question. No, because they hired the best coach.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. Landon Lanning's a hell of a college football coach. So it worked out. That worked out. So,
well, I give Bob Chesney a couple of years down there.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see. Yeah, I'll be curious to see if he can get that built up out there. That'll be interesting. Very interesting. All right, what's your week look like? What do you got coming up this week? You guys get to go to practice, or where are we looking?
Yeah, we get to go to practice on Thursday. We were requested to talk to Anthony Medjett, Quentin Reddish, and Marlon Jackson. And then we get to talk to a couple players at Fan Hour, since it's no longer Fan Day on Sunday.
They get 1 hour?
That's all Fan Day is now. It's 1 hour.
1 hour.
And James Franklin wasn't even advertised to be there.
Wow.
Just the players.
But yeah, give us more money, fans.
Yeah, 1 hour and it's like
really?
Sometimes you had to wait like a long time to get autographs. So, like, are you going to be willing to wait in line for an hour to get Ethan Grunkemeier's autograph and not be able to go meet anyone else?
So they're capping it at 1 hour. Like after 1 hour, everybody's off the field.
Yeah, it's 4 to 5 on Sunday.
Wow. Okay. All right. But hey, we need your continued support, fans that we value so much.
Yeah. I mean,
all right.
I do want to make sure that it is this Sunday.
Is that this Sunday? Okay.
Because someone just said next Sunday. Yeah.
Next Sunday?
I think it's this Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah, it's this Sunday.
Free hot dogs, though.
Yeah. Yeah, and the release only mentioned student athletes. It just said it didn't say anything about coaches. So Andy and I asked if Franklin was going to be there, and we haven't heard anything yet. So
all right. Well, you have to get us updated on that. That'll be interesting. The reaction will be interesting. So
yeah, we'll talk to me next week, and I'll be like, yeah, that's not going to look if the head coach doesn't show up to Fan Day.
Yeah. That wouldn't be a good look. No.
Probably brought his whole family for Fan Day and interacted with the fans.
Surely he'll be at Fan Day, right? He's got to be at Fan Day.
Yeah.
Those are the people that he's continuing to ask for money. He's got to go to Fan Day. Don't you think?
Yeah, but it was normally between 90 minutes to 2 hours, and now it's an hour.
An hour. That's wow. Okay. All right. Well, let us know. And we look forward to getting caught up on all this next week.
Yeah.
All right. Have fun at practice tomorrow, my friend.
All right. Talk to you
All
then.
right, bro. Take care, man.
Yeah.
David Sordelett. He'll have all the coverage for you coming up. Road Oak Times. Follow him if you don't on X. He's really good. Great dude. Great dude. Well, that's what he was saying, Wayne. Like, autograph session. You don't have any time to go do anything. Surely they can't have the lack of self-awareness not to put James Franklin out there for Fan Day, right? That won't happen. That can't happen. That will not be well received. I would not think. David Teal joins us next. But that apparently is the autograph session. Maybe you can come out of there, take a cooler and come out of there with like a couple dozen hot dogs, and maybe that'll make up for it. Talk to David Teal. We got an announcement. Virginia's bringing back a couple stalwarts in their starting lineup with this College Act rule, and we'll talk to him about that. Tech Media Day, Sunday. He's done a nice job. A great piece about Jeff Jones. Jeff Jones, a former UVA point guard coach, one of my favorite people that I've ever met in this industry, and I want to talk to him a little bit about that piece that he wrote on Jeff Jones, who's just a great dude. Whether you're a Tech fan or UVA fan, doesn't matter. Jeff Jones is one of the real ones, and he's gone through so many health issues recent years, and he just keeps battling. So we'll get to talk to David about that. And then Bill Roth joins us, and we'll talk about all these things. Maybe he'll know. I'll ask Bill that question about whether Franklin will be there for fan hour. Hey, customer, we need a lot more money if you want us to be good. You're not giving enough. We're going to make you spend this amount more for season tickets, parking, concessions. And in return, we're going to give you an hour. For a donation of $25, you can have mustard and ketchup packages to go with free dogs. Oh, wait a minute. You want extra relish? Yeah. That's going to be $100. Do you want us to be good? Then you better contribute. Do what we say. Do not respond to what we act on. That's not good. If the fans are your customer. The fans are what makes Virginia Tech football special. Some of the best fans in college football. We've talked about this ad nauseum. They've stuck by this program. You have stuck by this program. And then you get an hour on Fan Day. Okay. Again, I asked the question, to what end do you donate? Why do you continue to donate to any of these programs? When all you're ever told is it's never enough. And you're not really told where the money's going anymore. You assume it's going to player salaries, coaching buyout, bins, I don't know. And I guess if you have enough money, you want to contribute to your alma mater or your school, then I get it. Money laundering scheme seems to be more apt day by day, what I was told many months ago here on the program. Thanks, by the way, for all the well wishes. Appreciate it. I'm getting a lot on our professional door text line about it. A year, yeah, this is our year week. It's hard to believe. It really is. And look, I put Selma up. Look, see, Wayne. Right? There you go. There you go. Selma's now part of our 1-year celebration. But thanks to Professional Door for our text line, McClellan Chiropractic for our chat room, and, of course, Family Fencing here in our studio. And, of course, Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. Joining us now on the program, the Hall of Fame man of Scribe, David Teal. What's up, brother? How are you? Good morning.
Good morning, Rick.
You have been busy, my friend, as always. I want to get your take on Tech Media Day, some of your impressions coming out of that on Sunday.
Oh, of course. I mean, Rick, these days are, by their very nature, optimistic. Everyone is undefeated and thinks they're going to stay that way for several weeks, if not months.
Yeah.
And this was no different. But it does have a different feel with James Franklin and the staff and an upgraded roster. I was particularly interested talking to both Marcellus Hawkins, the tailback, and Jaquez White, their cornerback who transferred in from Troy, and their shared Division II history, and the fact that they actually played against one another. In 2023, when Hawkins was at Central Missouri and White was at Washburn, and Hawkins got the better of Mr. White on one play, hurtling over him, as Jaquez was relaying to me as we chatted in the Beamer Lawson Indoor on Sunday. But it's going to be a fascinating time in Blacksburg once we get past the opener and what we all presume will be a snooze fest against VMI.
Yeah, and, we're just talking about that. It feels like that's going to be one. Maybe he can get a lot of young guys, start looking at some of that depth they think that they might have at their disposal in a game like that. I hate that that's the first game to coronate James Franklin as the head football coach, but it is what it is. And then ODU comes in, and, I don't think any Tech fan's going to sit there and actively forget about Old Dominion and the grief they've caused this program over the last decade, right?
Well, as recently as last September, Brett Pry can attest.
So much I want to talk to you about. All right, so the College Sports Act is going to go in hibernation, if you will. And you talked about how Virginia is going to reap some benefits pretty easily, aren't they? Pretty effectively going off the bat with Kazim Moore and Jacob Holmes each being implemented back into the program.
Well, this has nothing to do, Rick, with the Protect College Sports Act. What Virginia is acting upon, and it's really kind of a proactive move because there's no guarantee that it's going to stick. In fact, the NCAA doubled down yesterday and said that it is adamantly opposed to this court ruling out of Colorado that grants blanket eligibility to class of 22 college athletics freshmen, and has petitioned the 10th Circuit for an expedited appeal. So we'll see how it all plays out. I think we'll know within a week or two how this is all going to end. But until we get to that point, Virginia has added Kazim Moore and Jacob Holmes, two young men who thought they might be done after last season because they had completed four years of eligibility. Not all at UVA, both were transfers in. But these are two quality pieces on the defensive front. If the Colorado judge's ruling holds, Virginia just got a lot deeper. And that has a credit. They apparently have the roster spots and the money to pay these two. And Virginia's front office, led now by Justin Spiros, they're sharp, and they have evaluated well in the portal and targeted those they believe who fit their program and their staff. And so far, so good.
So far, so good indeed. They don't make a lot of noise. They just go out and do their thing, put in good
and of course armed with resources.
Yes. That again, we don't know They don't get advertised a lot, but we know they're there. The actions speak a lot louder than than the boisterous words, right?
Yeah,
So,
I mean, Bo Prabula is at Virginia not out of the kindness of everyone's heart.
yeah, he left an SEC school just because he just wanted to go to the.
Just saying.
So what do you think is going to happen with that? I see, Seth Trimble apparently going to Carolina now on the hardwood. I saw that last night from going from Carolina to Louisville. I mean, are these actions? Are they getting indications early that the judge's ruling is going to stay and not be turned over? What do you think is going to happen?
No, I just think everyone is making contingency plans, and I don't necessarily blame them. And I have absolutely zero insight as to what the 10th Circuit may rule. But like everyone else, I'm curious because I think it's especially going to be Rick. We're so close to the football season.
I know.
I don't think we're going to see a flood of these commitments, but in basketball, I think it could have a profound effect on the upcoming season if indeed the ruling holds.
100%, 100%. So you could bring these players in, football, basketball, and then all of a sudden it gets overturned and then you're back to saying, well, sorry, can't really do it now. Or I don't know. It's going to be wild. It's just
and the question also becomes, Rick, because the Colorado judge, after she issued her initial ruling, came back a day or two later with a clarification saying that she in no way meant to override the NCAA's rule regarding transfers, meaning if you did not enter the portal during the off-season window, you can't now just go to any school. You have to either return to your former school or you're done. But Trimble, he entered the portal back in April. So he covered his bases. He had options. That, I believe, probably good advice from his agent. Again, in covering all their options. And now, at least temporarily, it has paid off.
Now, the College Sports Act, do you still believe this will never see the light of day? It's going to go, like I said, into hibernation for a while. Ross Dellinger, people aren't following him. He's done a terrific job keeping everybody updated from Yahoo Sports. What do you think this means now that we're going to kind of, let it kind of go away for a little while, or at least it's going to be talked about for a little while?
It's not good news for the bill and those who support it, Rick. If this was going to get done, I think it needed to get done last week. Now it has, it's risen from the ashes before when many thought it was toast. But I would be surprised if, just given the political climate in Washington and other priorities, and as we approach the midterms, and then after the midterms in a lame duck session of Congress, I don't see this coming to pass.
I want to ask you a question on behalf of a couple Clemson fans I've heard from. They were asking me my take on Clemson. What's your take on Dabo Swinney right now and his program? They put out a graphic yesterday, showed you how dominant they've been since 2018. I think 86 wins, by far the most of any program in the ACC. We've talked about his lack of acceptance of the new wave of the way things are done. How do you look at Clemson right now, David, going into 2026 under Dabo Swinney?
Fascinating season ahead for the Tigers, Rick. And in many ways, it may be a landmark one, whether they win or lose.
Yeah.
Because Dabo has yet to show that he can thrive in the new era. And until he does, I think there's going to be skepticism, and rightfully so. And a lot of this season, if you believe Clemson coaches and those who follow the program closely, the talent is there at receiver, at running back. They have upgraded the back end of the defense considerably, which they desperately needed to do. What about quarterback? Is Christopher Vizina, the program stalwart who has patiently bided his time, is he ready? Is Tate Reynolds, the incoming true freshman, is he the next Trevor Lawrence, ready to step in almost immediately? We shall see. There is no wading into the waters. Hello, Death Valley, LSU.
That's right.
Week one. That is a tall task. Now, LSU is in many regards in a similar boat. Totally overhauled roster, new coaching staff. So there's uncertainty for different reasons in Baton Rouge than in Clemson, but uncertainty nonetheless. So among the fascinating games of week one, if not the most, and that's why game day will be there. But yes, this is a crossroads moment for Clemson and Dabo Swinney, and it comes with his reunion with Chad Morris, an offensive coordinator.
That was a good move for him. We'll see. And it kind of shows you he realizes things have gotten away a little bit. But boy,
well, it's a comfortable move.
It is
for Dabo, Rick. And many would argue that Dabo has gotten too comfortable and too slow to change his ways. Now, is Morris the answer on offense? Is trying to pull it back to the future the way to go? We shall see. And Morris and Swinney then elevated Taj Boyd, the quarterback who's so effectively orchestrated Morris's offense back in 2011, 12, 13. And he is the quarterback's coach. And Taj I've known since he was in high school at Phoebus here in the 757. Yeah. I went down and visited with him earlier this summer. Have a story about him coming in the next couple of weeks. And he knows that 7-6 last year is not even remotely close to Clemson standards, and knows that the pressure is there.
And we're seeing just how valuable Brent Venables and Tony Elliott were to Dabo, and we're seeing what kind of college football coaches are turning out to be. Looks like Oklahoma's going to finally turn the corner this year, and Virginia's already there. So there you go.
Well, Venables was in the playoff last season, and many folks believe the Sooners will return there this year.
100%. Curious times down there in Clemson. We'll see. Finally, Dave, I got to ask you a great piece. One of my all-time favorite people in college athletics that I've gotten to know over the years, Jeff Jones.
Oh, yeah.
What a great people don't understand. I think a lot of people do around the industry. What he's been battling, his health, but he's always kept that glow, that smile, that optimism. What are your thoughts after, talking to Jeff Jones, and where is he now with his health and so forth?
Well, he's had 8 trips to the ER this calendar year alone. I was talking with Jeff and his wife, Danae, a couple of weeks back. But the reason for our conversation and the reason that Jeff initiated it is because he is planning his second annual Coaches versus Cancer Legends Gala here at Old Dominion next month. He's got a bunch of folks coming in. He's got Ryan Odom, Dave Odom, Debbie Ryan, Ralph Sampson, Gino Auriemma, Taylor Heineke, Michael Kadire. I know I'm missing a couple. But it's a great event. And last year, it set a record for a first-year Coaches versus Cancer fundraiser and generated almost $415,000.
Awesome.
For cancer research. And they aim to do even better this go-around. But it just shows that even amid his own struggles, Jeff remains dedicated to the cause. And I think it's particularly poignant that he's bringing Debbie Ryan in, because Coach Ryan is perhaps the most remarkable cancer story that I've ever encountered. Rick, she was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer back, I believe, in 2010, maybe even longer than that. But she has outlived expectations by leaps and bounds, and she remains dedicated to the cause despite all her setbacks. And she's in the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, and just a remarkable woman. And I'm glad she'll be part of the evening.
That's awesome. Yeah, she's a great lady. I've met her a few times. She's a special person. Debbie Ryan's a very special person. Well, it's going to be great. What's your weekend looking? What are you covering up this week? What do you got? What do you got for peeps to look for?
I'm heading up to William and Mary later today to check in with Mike London and some of his folks. There's a young man there who's on Bruce Feldman's freaks list. He's actually a transfer from Virginia Tech, Stephon Hicks, who last season blocked 4 punts for the Tribe, and in high school up in Richmond was a state high jump champion. So I'm going to go up there and talk to him. And then this weekend, we'll have a long form profile of Virginia Tech athletic director Brian White and his lineage. Lots of great anecdotes. Talk to his brother, the AD of Tennessee, his brother, the head basketball coach at Georgia. I talked to his mom. I talked to his dad. I think folks will really find it interesting. And then later today, we'll post my story on Marcellus Hawkins and Jaquez White and their shared Division II roots after chatting them up Sunday in Blacksburg.
All right. A lot of great stuff coming. And you're going to have a good day when you hang out with people like Mike London, another one of the really good guys in college sports. Mike London.
He is that.
He is. All right, man. Well, stay safe in your travels, Dave. Appreciate you, man. Hope we can run you down again next week.
All right, Rick. Be well.
Take care, brother. There you go. That's David Teal. Good stuff all the way around. There you go, Clemson folks. Your thoughts. What do you think? It's the year. And I did say that earlier. This is the year that Dabo remains in Clemson. When you're going to the other Death Valley, that is not necessarily a good way to start. But, you've got a lot of newness down there as well with Lane Kiffin. So we'll see. Bill Roth, the voice of the Hokies, scheduled to join us next. All right, let's get caught up here. Good stuff from David Teal. Hey, Rodney, we talked about you a little earlier. Trimble's ineligible as of now because he signed a contract this summer with a pro team. Well, does that matter anymore? Hell, they're letting G League guys on teams now recruiting. I don't even know what the rules are anymore. Is that true? So, in other words, the fact that he signed with a pro team, he can't go back to college? Well, what about the G League guys? I mean, I don't know the answer. I'm just asking the question. Tebow says Tech fans have to decide if they really want to win. Well, I know Tech fans want to win. And Tech fans are going to pay the prices to go to games and, to deal with the things they have to. But why is it always on the fans? And it's not just regarding Tech. It's all the way across the country. Why is it always on the fans? How about the people that are hired to turn these programs around? How about the onus fall on them a little bit? The guys that are paid high 7 figures. How about that? Why is it always on the fan who works all week? Then they plan their weekends to try to support their football teams as much as they can by traveling, by whatever it might be, filling the stadiums, buying their season ticket packages, paying for the parking, paying for the food and all that. Why is it always up to the fan? I think Tech fan does a terrific job in their support. I don't think Tech fan support is a problem. They just didn't have the right people in place to go out and try to find the dollars that they needed to get around, whether that's corporate, whatever it might be, hitting up the right people. But of all the things in my mind that's been wrong with Virginia Tech's football program over the last 8 years, 9 years, no, I'd say 8 years. It's not the fans. The fans are the least of my concerns. I think Tech fans are terrific. They do pay. They do. Tech fans do their thing all the time. But good stuff, though. Keep the conversations going in our McClellan Chiropractic chat room. Joining us now on the program, it's apt that here on Anniversary Week we have the voice of the Hokies, Bill Roth, back with us. What's up, William? How are you, brother?
Good morning. How are you? It's been too long.
It has been too long. Thanks, man. You too. Yeah, you've been. I know you've been all over the place doing stuff. Coach Franklin in the program and with everybody else over there, and you've been down in Florida. You've been all over the place. You've had a busy summer, haven't you?
We have a lot of new faces at Tech, not only in the football program, which goes back to the spring, but Brian White, our new director of athletics, have had a chance to visit with him, and we've done several podcasts and new members of his staff, his executive staff. And then, of course, we have all of our freshmen have showed up for football here. So there's a lot of people to meet and get to know, and we're really excited about that. And I went to a couple of World Cup soccer games over the course of the summer, which not the best games I've ever been to in any sport, but by far the best experience I've ever had. Seeing Colombia, we saw Colombia, Portugal, and we saw Cape Verde and Uruguay, and went with 3 other Hokies, and everyone was just totally blown away with the passion, the atmosphere, the traditions. It's like college football, but 10 times the passion. It was amazing. Latin American fans, Rick, football fans, soccer fans, muy loco. Wow. I mean, they are about their teams, and they are passionate, and they cry a lot, and they sing, and they sway, and they hug. And when there's a goal, it's so fun to watch. Even if you have no rooting interest in the game, it was just a very cool experience. Yeah.
And I loved it. No matter what fan base you're talking about, whatever nation you're talking about, Bill, you were probably there. You heard it. How complimentary the fans were about coming to America and being here and just experiencing America. We talk about all the problems, and we know all the problems we got going on in this country, especially politically. But it's nice to get that, reassurance of how really good things are here.
I think everyone loves the U.S. and not everyone, but
right, yeah.
That was a misstep on my part right there. There are people who don't. However, all the soccer fans loved coming, and we are lucky to live here. That's for sure.
Well, there's no better person to ask than you. You've been there for so many indoctrinations of camp and coaches and the vibe around Virginia Tech. But even for you, this one has to feel a little different, right? In all the best ways possible in terms of James Franklin and all the newness and so forth, right? I think I saw you said if you were buying stock, you're giving stock tips, it would be good to invest right now.
The staff from top to bottom knows what it's doing. They're all experienced. They've all done this before. They get it. They understand it. There's no learning on the job. You've got people like Danny Rocco and years and years of experience out there. Warren Ruggiero, probably the elite ACC offensive coordinator. These guys are just analysts for our team. And you take a look at the coaching staff out there, it's really remarkable. And the efficiency at which Coach Franklin runs his practices and the focus that everyone on that staff has, it's incredible. And then as for the players, I think everyone knows this is likely the biggest team we've ever had. I think it's 30 guys over 300 pounds. I think we've been lucky to have 10, but there's not a whole lot of bellies hanging out over the belt. And I think it's the team that we have right now is better than the one that we had in the spring, going back to the spring game. And some players are starting to emerge. And I'm very curious. We had a bit of a scrimmage last night. We'll have another one Saturday. And I'm looking forward to seeing who emerges. We still have 3 weeks till kickoff,
Yeah.
and some decisions will be made. But I love what I love what I'm seeing. Of course, I get paid to say that, but even if I didn't, I wouldn't say it if I didn't believe it. And it doesn't take long, right? It doesn't take long to walk out there and you go, "Whoa, it's a new day."
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, and you wouldn't say it if you didn't feel it. So that's what people, come one of the many things they love about you, Bill. Your honesty about all these things. When you watch the team, of course, I know linebacker depth. I know Brent Price said that's an issue, but it feels like that the depth is something that they talk about a lot, right? And that's something I know you probably haven't seen up close for a while in Blacksburg.
Well, I don't know that we're there where we need to be yet. For example, I think, well, like the wide receiver room, for example, there's some good players there, but we need to see who steps up into that 3, 4, 5 slot. I think the tight end room looks dynamite. That's an area where we got plenty of depth. I like it.
Yeah.
The running back room. I am the head of the Marcellus Hawkins, Jeffrey Overton fan club, New River Valley chapter. Okay. I know the Northern Virginia people. That's the Overton fan club up there. But I think that we've got some really, really good, really elite looking tailbacks. And, you can one of the reasons Lee Suggs was so good is because Kevin Jones was splitting time with him and vice versa. So I think you're right on the depth, but it's something we got to build on. We need more defensive line depth, linebacker depth, and that will come. It's not an overnight fix, but they've made great progress since November when Coach Franklin was announced.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, got to stay away from the injury bug now. I like to hear the 2 scrimmages. That's good stuff. As you said, you'll get a better vibe for it. Kind of an unfair question because we don't know, but what's your take overall of the league? It feels like this is going to be a very fun year in the ACC, right? Just feels like it's going to be that kind of year. We'll see.
Well, Miami's got the best roster. I think it's probably down to Miami and SMU. But
yeah. Clemson kind of an X factor. Louisville, they're always good, but we don't know how good they're going to be. The middle of it's going to be kind of jammed up. That's what I like about it.
4 through 12, who knows, right?
I know. I love that.
And having the unbalanced schedule is like our schedule is very weird because, we don't play a single North Carolina team. And we get to go to the West Coast and Dallas and Boston and Miami. And yet here's all these teams in our backyard. And our closest road trip's Clemson. And that it's cyclical and it'll come back around. But the schedule it's tough because of where the games are and when they are. And, it's easy to bust down to Wake Forest or Chapel Hill and play a game and you're back. Not so much Berkeley, California, or Dallas. I think SMU is really good. If you look at it, SMU has lost 3 ACC games since it joined the league, all 3 of them like on last-second field goals.
Yeah, right.
They have been their success in the ACC is very as a new member is very similar to Tech's. We won 3 of the first 5 or 6 years we were in the league. Now
That's
SMU,
a good point.
They made the playoff their first year. They are that close to being undefeated as an ACC team, and I think they're so far away. We don't get the media. They don't get the media attention that at least over here that they do in Dallas. But that's one of the negatives about our, the ACC is it's a national coast to coast kind of conference now where you got to follow what's going on in California and follow what's going on in Texas. Cause we always have understood Florida as the ACC because number one, we've always recruited that state and we've had players from down there and it's an East Coast time zone state. So it's 700 miles down there, but at least you have a sense of the kind of players and what high schools we're familiar with. I don't know anything about Dallas high schools.
I know.
And Northern California high schools. And, we played Cal last year at Lane. They had a lot of really good athletes. That quarterback's unbelievable.
Yeah, he is
and
good.
We won the game in overtime, but that's going to be a hard trip. Cal on the road is going to be tough for anybody. with Songa Pulatelli swinging the ball around out there.
No, I know.
We're focused on VMI. If I talk about a game that's not week one, I will be in violation of the 1-0 mentality, right? So we're not even there yet. We're not even in game week yet. We're still in the culture building and seeing who's going to play where, and then we'll turn our attention to VMI.
That's a great analogy. SMU and Virginia Tech entering the league and having instant success. That's true. I hadn't thought about that. That's very similar. Very similar. Pretty cool. How's we got to talk about the SMA a little bit. I know you get so excited every year. More and more kids applying. How's the group looking so far on paper that you're bringing in?
So we have 9 kids doing baseball. We've got a partnership with the Salem Red Sox, now the Ridge Yaks, and Braden Shank has been doing an amazing job down there all summer long. So they've got a few weeks left. The Woodbat League teams, the summer league teams, are about to start the playoffs. And I don't know who won the St. Cloud Rocks game last night in the opening round of the playoff, but we've had 5 kids in a row go to Minnesota for the summer. So Riley Klaus is out there, but we've got 9 people calling baseball all summer, and really excited about it. We send them away. They stay at a host family house or apartment with a player. They come back completely different people, and it's not summer camp. Right? It's baseball every day, day after day after day. And, for Riley's he's a Midwestern guy who was in our program. Until you've ridden a 12-hour bus ride to somewhere in Manitoba and gotten off the bus to call a game, you come back a different person, a better person. And I'm so excited when they all get together, when they all come back here in 2 weeks to see our kids.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Brady asked, can you tell Bill how much we appreciate him and Mike on the broadcast? He says, Bill, do you ever just think about how lucky you are to still be able to work with Burnup after all these years?
Well, Brady, thank you. And yes, every day. I was with Mike last night at the stadium, and we're sitting in the stands, and it's cold, and we're there, and it's pouring down rain. And I said, there's no place I'd rather be. In a 66,000 seat stadium with 2 people in the stands, getting soaked.
That's right.
And we had some rain gear and we had coats on, but it was still soft and wet. Mike he's an institution. He's magnetic. Everyone loves Mike. And so, Brady, thank you for listening. I can't wait. This will be Mike's 44th year in our broadcast.
It's crazy. That's crazy. 44 years.
And I don't know if anyone's longer. I mean, Mike hasn't missed a Virginia Tech football game since 1980? He started in 85? 84. He's been at every game since that Bill Dooley 85 season.
Wow. That's true.
Home and away.
Charles, all right? Jeff Charles and Burnup, right? Yeah.
We actually went back. Tech Talk Live starts on August 27th. We went back and looked. It was 1977 that Coach Dooley started a weekly talk show. And that's when that's when they called it the Hokie Hotline. So next year will be the 50th year of a weekly coaches show.
Wow.
Right? It's 1977, 2027.
I remember Hokie Hotline well. Yeah, 77. I didn't realize it went back that far. That's cool.
And I found some old tapes from the early 70s. Ken Haynes at Castle calling Hokie. The Fighting Gobblers are on the air from the Stuart Castle Coliseum. I've got it on my laptop here. Back then, it was called the Stuart Castle Coliseum.
Really?
The Fighting Gobblers. Now it's just Castle.
The Fighting Gobblers.
The Fighting Gobblers are on the air. Your 1969 Virginia Tech Fighting Gobblers.
When did the call go from Fighting Gobblers to Hokies? Like, was there an official change date for that?
I think that would have been in the Jimmy Sharp Dooley transition. Because the Hokies was always there, right? Hokie, right. High goes back to the late 1800s.
Right. That's cool. I like that. That's good to have. You got to listen to that from time to time. That's
see now. Does it make me feel really old that I'm?
Well, it's going to be wild, man.
People are going, who is Jimmy Sharp? Who is Bill Dooley?
No.
Who?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
So anyway, Tech Talk Live out at McLean's at First and Main. Coach Franklin will be there. They've not announced the players yet. I'll let them know. We're going to have some players out there. We're going to have a band. So we started this tradition, and last year, we did it down in Atlanta at Tabernacle, which is a historic music venue. We're going to bring a live band out for the first Tech Talk Live again this year. So we'll have live music. The band will be out there at McLean's.
Oh, okay, awesome.
Coach Franklin, our players. That'll be the 27th. Fan Day is Sunday inside our Beamer Lawson practice facility. So that's the next big fan event here on Sunday.
Yeah. All right. Well, good stuff. Well, thanks for stopping by, my friend. We'll have to do this more often now that you're getting more settled in your schedule and so forth once the season gets going.
Come on over and visit us, pal.
I will get over there. I want to see the program. I do want to do that. I want to see the SMA. I do. I want to get over there. Check that out.
Would you like to grade some papers?
I would. I'll be glad to help any way I can.
I assure you that there's another college instructor or professor or high school teacher that would cut that deal with you right now.
Yeah, they would. I got a little bargaining chip.
The teaching, the mentoring, the schmoozing, the growing, that's the fun part. The grading.
Yeah.
But you're always welcome. You're always welcome. You're always welcome to come over.
Yeah, I might do. Yeah, I'll reach out to you. I'd like to do that. All right, brother. Thanks for stopping by, man. Great to see you again, and congrats on another season coming your way.
Let's go Hokies. We'll see you soon.
All right, brother. Take care. There you go. It's Bill Roth, the longtime legendary voice of Virginia Tech football, the best. He and Mike Burnham. I mean, I appreciate the comments. We got several other comments. People coming in on the professional door text line about Mike and Bill. I mean, I do it all the time. Whenever tech's on, I'm not listening to whoever it might be. I'm not. I'm listening to Mike and I'm listening to Bill. I'm not listening to it. Hey, what's up, Fact Jack? That's a fact, Jack. That's a fact, Jack. That's a Stripes reference, isn't it? Huh? I came to Tech in 68. So those old coaches and the stadium growth are fun to remember. Good stuff. Yeah, Fighting Gobblers is still on the outside of the stadium. And that better never change. Can't get rid of the Fighting Gobblers on the side of the stadium. Just do not do it. Be smarter. Thanks again to all of our great sponsors, Lawson's Mobile Home Supply, the NRB Super Bowl, Sundown Electric, the Ready Set Fund, Professional Door Incorporated, National Bank, member FDIC, the attorney Ryan Pry with our BDST fan question of the week, Little River Heating and Air, Pulaski County Sports Entertainment, the presenting sponsor of this program, McClellan Chiropractic, and Family Fencing. All right. Trying to shore up the program for tomorrow. Got a lot going on, man. A lot going on as we run through Thursday already Thursday. We won't be doing pop tomorrow because I'll be calling my first game on ESPN Plus with our women's soccer opener tomorrow night. So I'll see about maybe trying to reschedule that this week, Friday, Saturday. I don't know. I'll let you know. We'll see. We will see. It is from Stripes. There we go. A movie I remember watching a lot when I was younger and getting, I think that may have been, Saturday Night Live. I think that was the first movie I saw Bill Murray in. No, Meatballs was the first movie I saw Bill Murray. 1 year down, 43 to go to Ty Burnham currently. There you go, Christian. Nobody does it better than family fencing. There you go. Thank you. There you go. Jason Green. Yeah, maybe it's just Bob. It's a radio show / podcast. I don't like to just call it a podcast. We're a radio show that moved to YouTube. That's what I like to call it. 17 years. This is year 17. This is anniversary week. I mean, if you don't believe me, well, let Selma and the crew tell you. So thank you again to everybody for the year. I'm going to write, like I said, I'm writing about this week in the Patriot, just some of the cool things and just thanking everybody, the contributors and all the things that we try to do here. Could not be possible without you and your support, without our sponsorship support, and without the people who come on the program that make this such an enjoyable venture at all times. I learned something every day. Harold Ramis also in Ghostbusters, along with John Candy and Stripe. Yep. Can you imagine if you ever got Selma to join the show? I was pursuing it, man. Late 2000s, 2008, 2009. We had a dialogue. Well, not she and I, but I did have a little brief dialogue with her agency and explain the years of buildup and all that. And it was just going to be like a quick little thing. I wasn't even going to keep her on there a long time. We were trying like heck. And it was a conversation that actually went on for about a year. And we kept getting positive responses, like they were going to really try to do it. And so we just kind of let them do their thing. And we got to a month where we thought, okay, we had 3 different dates that they had proposed this could happen. I said it didn't really matter. I mean, we could do it live or we could do it recorded. And she actually, her preference was to do it live. And I said, well, that's great. And then we narrowed it down to 2 or 3 dates. And I just remember all of a sudden the communication stopped. I wasn't bitter or anything like that. And she may have gotten busy with I'm sure she got busy with a movie or movies or whatever. But yeah, it came to an end after that. And we did not pursue it once they stopped responding. When you get the no response, you kind of realize that it's over. But we did make a hell of an effort for a year. We did. And it would have been, I think I could have probably just ended the show right there. We could have gotten her on. But yeah, we tried. Christian, yeah, you remember, we talked about it then. We tried. We kept people updated. I didn't update people the entire year, but once we got down to the final few months and it looked like, okay. But alas, I only have images to share of her. And the audio. I could probably throw some audio on here. It's just not the same, though. Of having, if she would have been on the show. But yeah. That would have been the coup de grace of BDST. Been a lot of great interviews, a lot of opportunities that have presented themselves that I never dreamed would present themselves. But that one would have been different, at least for me. I mean, she's on the graphic, for goodness sakes. So tomorrow, David Smith, we're going to talk about this quarterback thing. Andy Bitter, Dwight Vick, and I'm going to reach out to Jonathan Sweet. I want to talk about his nephew being drafted being brought into camp by the Jets. $1 billion, and you could have her on. $1 billion. Correct. That would probably get her attention. Then again, she's married to a billionaire, so maybe that wouldn't even do it. Yeah. That probably wouldn't even do it. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I don't know. Would $1 billion even be something she'd be interested in? I mean, it may not. She may look at $1 billion like, he's got 10 billion. Really? You think I'm going to waste my 10 minutes for $1 billion, Rick Watson? Christian says he met Selma in Denver Airport. Wow. Hope you got a picture. I do see her doing that a lot when she meets people. She just takes pictures with people. She doesn't have any, I mean, she's out with fans. She's good with fans. Much better with fans than the 1 hour scheduled Tech Fan Day on Sunday. But I have seen she does a lot. She does a lot with fans. Selma and I could have met in the airport and we could have gone to a Broncos game. Ooh. Wow. And then after that, she would have called her much older billionaire husband and said, I want a divorce. I'm going to stay in Denver with Rick. All right, good stuff today on a Wednesday. We slid over the hump very well. That was a jam-packed show. Keon Brown, Damien Sordelette, David Teal, Bill Roth. You got 2 Hall of Famers in there. Should be 3. Keon should be a Hall of Famer. We'll be back tomorrow on the Thursday edition. Hope everybody enjoys the rest of your Wednesday. Hope everybody stays safe. Please always subscribe, like the videos. It means a lot. They're getting big into that. Just make sure you take the time to hit the like button. Share the channel. And I hope everybody has a great day. Thanks for your support. Thanks to our sponsors. Thanks to our guests. And we'll do it all again tomorrow, Lord willing. Take care, everybody. We'll see you in the